This is when you have no assistant with you and you do all yourself.
That's why you make the big bucks.
Yeah, doing great money-wise, sure. I have a regular job, which is credit card phone stuff.
Really? Oh,
They
boy.
call me, I can't book my flight now, I need to buy tomorrow.
Oh, your customer service.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. For what company?
Customer fucked.
Yeah, I work for customer fuck service.
Yeah, but it's pretty good too, man.
Oh, God, that's hilarious. Hello, how you doing? My name's Chris Coleman. I try to play the drums, and they allowed me in the building to be at Pop Akademie here in Mannheim, Germany. So, hope you enjoy. Hang tight. Both. I like the same, the exact same as you. I like the fact that the world moves around to the beat. The beat is the thing that brings people together. It synchronizes things, you know. A clock has a tempo, and yet it synchronizes the whole world. You see? So, like the clock, the drums are a necessity, you know. The drums are a vital necessity to life, you know, itself. And for me, it's beautiful when you can express your personal ideas through something that's very vital and a necessity for life. So there's so many things I could say about drums and why I love it. I mean, I could take the whole hour and talk about that. But the main thing for me is I get lost. You know, I can get lost in the drums. I can get lost in the moment on my drums, with my drums. Sometimes I'm playing and I'm like practicing or just playing something, and I'm not thinking absolutely nothing that has to do with a metronome or time or music, or I'm just playing. It's like a way to talk. It's like a way to express, you know? That's probably one of my favorite parts, which is me in my practice room, you know, me in a inspiring environment, you know, like a studio that overlooks the hill or some kind of awesome drum room that's been constructed. And, you know, you're just in this space and you're just there, you're just playing, you're just expressing yourself. And if you step outside of yourself and have a seat, what I'm playing will dictate how I feel, like what's happening, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of things I could say about the drums and how oh my God, I can go on and on and on. I can find myself rambling about the drums, you know. But as you said, the primitive and, you know, the incomprehensible, I love all of that too, you know. And also the simplicity of it, you know, because you need 2 and 4 to synchronize everything and everybody. You play 2 and 4, all of a sudden everybody's in line. They're marching to the same beat. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. You know. So, yeah, that's a taste of some of the things I love.
Okay, let's do the gospel chops thing. Get it out of the way, right? It's what makes us pale people super impressed.
That's the best way to describe it. Wow, cool.
And
Pale people.
of course, it's a 30-second note thing, right? And you play. You have a super high resoluted grid, and you put it upon something very slow. That's how to think it. But it's not to get it done. I mean, that should be something else, probably. Otherwise, we wouldn't be so impressed. So this is just a formal explanation. So what are you actually doing with time? Time is probably one of the key thing, and how you bend time, make it disappear, come again, mold a note, stretch it, thinking maybe in waves, not in curves, not in the grid. Does it make sense what I say?
Oh, it's perfect sense. And that's the way I try to describe it, because it takes you out of the box, but it doesn't put you completely in space with no boundaries. Does that make sense? It's kind of like you're in between, you know. That's the way I like to think about it. Yes, I mean, the bulk of it, I can sum it up in 30-second notes, and is, you know, 30-second note triplets, if there's such a thing. Technically, no, but technically, yes. Anyways, that's another discussion. For me personally, it's about dynamics. Because I can play constant 30-second notes, and it just sounds like 30-second notes. But it's when you put the dynamics in, now it sounds personal. Now it sounds like a voice. It sounds like a color, or feels like a color, feels like a voice. Why? Because the dynamics dictate, you know, the space and the mood, so to speak. That's how I look at it. You know, okay, yeah, if you must call it gospel chops, I mean, these notes and this style was being played way before gospel drummers got involved. We actually got it from somebody. And then that person that we got it from, they got it from somebody. So I can't really coin it as ours, but neither can the person that we got it from. So it's just part of the drum community. How about that? I love this question. I love this question. Imagine with me, I'm a car guy, as much as it is to be a car guy. Let's say I got a Bugatti, right? Fastest production two-seater in the world. The beast. Twin V8, 4 turbos, somewhere around 2,000 horsepower, right? This is all absolutely amazing, you would think, right? What's just as important as all of this? The brakes. Because you can have the best driver in the world, but without brakes.
That was his final day, bro.
That's his final day.
Finally right.
So the brakes are just as equally important, if not more, than the actual point of the car, the purpose of the car. So to sit down and have all this speed on the drums with no control, that might be your final day. Especially on the gig. You understand? You have to have control. Control is like, it should be a given. You know, oh God, it's so funny sometimes to hear the comments, you know, people make. And I see them more so on YouTube than people actually that would say it to me personally. But they're like, oh yeah, I've seen a bunch of his videos and it's all chops. And I'm thinking, that is so funny that you would think that that's all I play. I'm more concerned about a career than I am a chop. If this is what I do as a professional and I can't pay my bills, something's wrong. Why can't you pay your bills? Well, no one will hire me. Why won't people hire you? I don't know. Well, what do they say? What is the word out on the street about your playing? Oh, some people said I'm too busy. Okay, there we go. What? That's the answer. What's the answer? This is the reason why you're not working. Huh? I'm too busy? Yeah. Or is it that you just don't have enough control? I love to sit down and practice and push myself and play as many notes as fast as I can for as long as I can. Sometimes it's an endurance thing and sometimes it's a musical thing. Whatever the music is asking for, then that's what you provide. And if it only needs 2 notes, then give it 2 notes. But give it 100% of those or for those 2 notes. If it asks you for 20,000 notes, then give it 100% for those or of those 20,000 notes. For me, I don't care how many notes. Can I have the control to be what the music is asking me to be? For this moment, for this time. That's my take on control. It's just as important as, the brakes are just as important as the engine. Yeah, I got the fastest car. Yeah, I got the best brakes. Oh, that's a great car. Do you understand? Like, I got the biggest engine. What's your brakes like? You endorsed by Brembo? Honestly, I think it's culture. I think it's culture. I was born and raised in heavy music. Like R&B, funk, heavy. The grooves are heavy. Everything is, 2 and 4 dominant, 1 and 3 dominant. And growing up like that, jazz, gospel, funk, hip hop, R&B, you just develop what you need, for the moment. In an urban setting, we're used to feeling it, feeling the sound. And dynamics come into play when you want to feel it. Because if you just play, okay, yeah, I can crank it. I crank the volume. But it still feels like you're just playing. You understand? But when you dig in, it creates that feeling. Also along with the dynamic. So I think it's culture for me as to how that sound came to be. That's just something that I've honed in on because that was the music I won't say required to play, but it was just, that's where I was. That's where I grew up with, Some people grew up in the jazz idiom. Jazz just requires a different dynamic. It's no less intense than funk and R&B. Jazz is just as intense as funk and R&B. It's just a different dynamic to create a different feeling, It's really about dynamics and feelings. And a lot of people don't know or realize that, I like to experiment with all of them. So I'm into all styles of music, which require all kinds of dynamics. So I think it's more of a culture thing as to how that sound has come about. Not so something that I've, can write a book on. This is how you do. Nah, you grow up, for 20, 30 years playing this style of music, which is heavy. It's just heavy. It's everything about it is heavy. Urban people like to feel music, not just hear it. Getting the gig. There's so many aspects to getting a gig. No gig is the same. no approach is the same, no venue or vein or avenue, however you want to say it, is the exact same. Everyone is going to be completely different from the other one. So basically, you're the first one. Every audition is different. Yeah, you have sort of a template of what it is, but none of them are the exact same. And if you're not careful, if you put yourself in a mental box, I was told to do this in an audition, for an audition. I was told to do this. I was taught to do this. You'll show up and then they'll throw you an audible, and you're like, oh boy, I didn't do that. And 9 times out of 10, they do that on purpose. Most of the time they don't want to see your best. They want to see how you function in your worst. That's who you really are, So my encouragement is to work on your weaknesses, and let's just be real about it. Treat it like a 9 to 5. That's my, take on it. You got to get up. You got to be on time. You got to punch a clock. There's a regiment. You have a uniform way of how you do your 9 to 5. You need to know your 9 to 5. You need to train, to do this and do that. But anything can happen on your 9 to 5. It just because you sit at a computer all day doesn't mean that something will happen out of the ordinary. But you got to be trained to handle it. You got to be trained to be able to deal with it. You have to know how to troubleshoot. Yes, I do this job. I have a suit and tie. This is this, but I'm crisis management. I have to be prepared for that. It's the same thing on an audition. I just had an audition recently. I learned the music. I said, okay, I charted the music out. I learned the music. I learned the parts as the drummer played them. I even tried to start or adjust or attempt to tune my tuning, according to what I'm listening to. Okay, I'm hearing big drums, not small drums, so I'm going to lean more towards the 22-inch kick drums and 24-inch kick drums and 18-inch floor toms and 16-inch floor toms. I'm already thinking in that vein. The bigger snares, these are the sounds I'm hearing on the record. So I need to try to gear and become what the record is first and foremost, It's one thing to learn the music and know the roadmap, but now you have to be the music, and that's really key. That's really important. A more vivid definition of how to be is to feel the music, become the music, It's like if the music is happy, you be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like is the music dark but powerful or forceful? You have to figure that out. You have to know, oh, this is happy music. This is light, happy music. Oh, this is, sitting on the beach in Jamaica. So it's relaxed. So that's the way you play. You understand? Because if not, they're gonna feel that. They're gonna be like, yeah, man, it sounds good, but it feels rushed. It feels rigid. It's like, I don't have a good connection with this drummer. I say this all the time, and I only really express this to people who, I feel that can handle it. You say this to some people and they get offended, and I'm not trying to offend you. I'm trying to bring some truth to the situation. And I've had to tell drummers, which are some of my students, you're not selling it. I'm not sold. That's my term, I use. And if I have a drum student and we're in lessons or I'm teaching a class and they're like looking at me and I'm like, I'm not sold. You haven't sold me yet. I'm not going to buy this record. For that very reason, you look like you're from Beverly Hills, but you're trying to play music that's angry. I'm not saying that it can't be. I'm not saying you can't do it. You can do anything you want to do. But you need to recognize that. All I'm saying is be aware of that. So don't expect people to just be like, oh, God, he's the guy. You have to look the part,
How can they feel it if you don't seem to feel it?
Yeah, I mean, as an example, I could have a master's degree in public communications and politics, you know? But if I walk in the White House dressed like this, they're gonna be like, who is this dude? How did he get by security? And I could be the smartest guy in the room. They don't know that.
He's here for the red button.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, is that as an example? That's what I'm trying to say. I need to recognize that. So maybe I want to put on a suit and tie at least. You know, if I want to be accepted or respected by these people, by this genre or this situation. If you don't want to deal with the drama, then don't be there. It's as simple as that, you know. You have to sell it, and especially in an audition, man. I mean, you have to be the old drummer and you at the same time. You know, you have to, because these guys have been rocking with this guy for however X many months or years or, you know, and you come in and I'm gonna do my thing. It's like, okay, but can you do our thing? We're hiring you to do our thing. Can you do our thing and then slide some of your thing in? So you have to be yourself and the old drummer at the same time.
Maybe you is the cherry on top, probably.
Yes, you know, exactly. I like that definition. Yes. Oh, it haunts me, right? It haunts me. It's the thing that I'll reshape my entire career based upon that one gig. Everything has to come up. You know, if I had a situation, because I'm human, that's the first thing I have to tell myself. Like, yo, I fucked up. I botched this one, you know. I made a mistake. It's as simple as that. I can either die or live another day, you know? The first thing to do is own it. I've gone to every single band member, every single tech, everybody that's involved with this crew, including the artist, and apologized personally. Yo, I'm sorry, I made a huge mistake. Please forgive me. Human error, you know? Nothing emotional, I don't have to cry. Just man up and own it. Man, it's all good. Because people have respect when they see you on your own. You know, if remember blaming other people, then you won't have that respect, you know. If I take that, I've had it happen. That's happened to me. And it was kind of like a defibrillator, you know. Like, my whole attitude changed. My whole life had to change, you know. Because I like to have fun. And I can't have fun when I'm pissed off, you know, and mad at myself, you know. But I also know that people are gonna feel that. So I had to be honest with myself, have a moment, deal with it, get over it completely super fast, you know, and I had to move on. So the best way to do that is to apologize to everybody. Everybody knows you apologize, let it go. Now, here's why. Get back on the horse and push it even harder. Because the worst thing you could do is say, I'm sorry, and then continue to do the same thing over and over and over, which means you're not really sorry, right? So, yeah, I've reshaped and restructured my whole life based upon some simple mistakes I've done, you know, on stage. Because I'm human. It's happened. I allow my mind to be elsewhere, and I'm knowing now, what is the issue? What is the problem? What happened? I wasn't focused. But you're a professional. Yeah, I'm a professional in training, always. That's kind of like my life motto. I'm a professional always in training. I can always learn. I can always perfect, always. But over time, you just learn. You know, if you're really paying attention, you'll learn. If you really want to grow, you'll pay attention, you know, to things that happen to you, good, bad, and ugly. If I make a mistake, you know, I try my best to prevent them. You know, I think ahead, you know, that's what I had to learn. Man, I wasn't thinking ahead. I wasn't ahead in the game. I wasn't 5 steps ahead. So where if I'm at step 3 and something goes wrong, then I have options while I'm still in step 3 because I have to fix it here because they all lead to step 4. You see what I'm saying? So you just learn, you learn how to flow with mistakes. That's the thing I love about music. Sometimes there's a lot of mistakes on stage, but people don't catch it. Musicians might, but some people don't catch it. And sometimes your response dictates if it was a mistake or not. I've made a mistake. I went to a change. I was supposed to go to the verse, and I went to a chorus, and I played a fill, and it was like, bah, and they're all looking at me funny. I was like, so I played it off. I was like, okay, The artist knew, she was like, but I laughed it off, and everybody laughed, and we made it's kind of like safe, even though it was horrible, but it was like, we're live on TV. You can't be like, stop and lose it. And it's like, yo, this band sucks. It kind of comes from another life motto. You're only as good as your weakest link. A basketball team. There's 5 guys. You're only as good as the weakest guy on the team. So you can say, oh, we're super strong. We got so many strengths. Yeah, but this weakness is going to keep all of you here. You understand? That's like, think of a chain with the link. This chain is only as strong as the weakest link. You can't put any more pressure on the full chain because this one chain can break the whole thing. Does that make sense? I'm always strengthening my weaknesses. I'm always trying to expose and hone in on my weaknesses, because the more I do that, the stronger my strengths are automatically going to be. It's an automatic thing. You understand? It's like if I got fast hands and fast feet, but my weakness is my mental strength or my counting ability. Well, the more I start to count and understand and process, then the more access my hands and feet now have. Do you understand? It's like, for me, I'm always trying to work on my weaknesses. But I can never forget that I'm human. And that's the beautiful thing about being human. We have weaknesses. If we were perfect, life would be boring, man. It really would. Think about it. If everything was perfect, everybody knew what to say, everybody knew what to do, then half of us wouldn't have a job. Everybody would be super smart. Everybody would be astronauts. It'd be boring, bro. Super boring. So the beautiful part about life is variety. And I think our weaknesses help us to create more variety. So we actually have to be grateful for the weaknesses in so many words, because without a weakness, how do you know you have a strength?
You had no reason to improve.
Exactly. Which means we cease to exist. There's no evolution. So it's very vital that you appreciate your humanness. We all make mistakes, The question is, are we going to live or die at the moment of the mistake? So. Yeah, I'm still dreaming. And honestly, I've been blessed, okay? I'm very grateful. Don't get me, I don't want this to be confusing. I'm very grateful for my path and where I am with it. It's been a long, rough, I won't say tough, because anything you want to do, if you want to do it, then any sacrifices that need to be made really aren't sacrifices. It's something that just needs to be done. Exactly. So it's been rough because I didn't know what all the journey would have in store for me. The ups, the downs, the ins and outs, the lefts, the rights, that type of thing. I'm very grateful for it, but honestly, deep down in my heart, I feel like it's all been training. I haven't even started yet. Like, the dream I have, man. And it scares me because, you know, you think your age, you're like, crap, like, is it ever gonna happen? You know, am I there? How close am I? Am I doing the right thing to get to that? Like, am I even in the ballpark? You know, that type of thing. So I have accomplished a few things that years ago when I was little, I think I desired it. I accomplished it. I didn't know. I never set a timeline. I never said, oh, I want to be, you know, Modern Drummer Festival by the time I'm 25. It wasn't that. It was just, yeah, that'd be cool to play the Modern Drummer Festival one day. I did it, you know. Did it happen in my timeline? No. It happened in the timeline of reality, life itself. But it happened. I'm grateful, but that wasn't the final. That isn't the final mark of what I see to be. And what I have in my heart, what's resonating in my heart, my soul, my reality is, it's all been training. It's all been a setup, you know, to do what I ultimately want to do, you know, which sometimes I feel like, man, I'm getting really close to that moment, you know. And I also understand it's just like school. They gave us 12 years. Okay, within 12 years, you should be here. You know, that's the point I'm trying to make. These are the foundational tools to begin. And it's like, wow, you go through these 12 years and you're thinking, man, that was rough, you know? And it was all just to begin. So that's how I feel, you know, all of this now is preparation to begin. And that's where I feel like I am in my career, my life. It's exciting because it's been a lot of natural sacrifices that have been made, you know, and I'm still making in order to get to this point because I want to be prepared. The worst thing is to get to the moment and not be prepared. You know, the definition of success is when preparation meets opportunity. When preparation meets opportunity, then you're successful. So I just want to be prepared, you know, at the end of the day. So, you know, where am I? I haven't even started yet. Hi. Bye.
Very classic.
Very primitive. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, great fun. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Hi there, this is Philip speaking. I'm the host of Drum Talk. And first of all, I want to thank you for watching my video. I hope you liked it. It's season 7 already, but it's not only season 7, it's also the 5th anniversary of Drum Talk. And a lot of things have changed over the years, as you may have realized. But there's one thing that is still consistent, which is it's basically just me doing all the things with some helping hands here and there. So I figured maybe there are some folks out there that like my program so much they want to maybe support the channel a little bit, which helps indeed because I don't have any sponsor or anything whatsoever. Everything I have to pay out of my own pocket. So if you like it a lot or just a bit and you feel like giving me a little bit of support, there will be a Patreon page up soon and I will post the links. And if you feel like it, you can support me there. Anything is cool. So again, thanks for watching and take care. Bye.